like a child. Oh, fire and wild. I fell into the burning ring of fire. Down, 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 flames and fire. Burn, burn, burning fire.
Fantastic years. Actually, it's been over 41 years. I always...
What went on in the 1 year?
I'll
block my
I
ears.
always said when I write our life story, it's going to be called "She Was the Only Girl Wearing a Dress." I'll get to that in a moment. First of all, a little bit of history about Renny. For those of you that don't know, Renny was born in Lienz in Austria, right at the end of the Second World War, during an air raid. She was actually born in the hospital bomb shelter. She came to Australia in 1949 with her mother and her older brother. They were refugees. They travelled out from Trieste in Italy by boat. On arrival in Sydney, they were transported to Bathurst by train, and they started their lives living in those old curved roof refugee hostels, curved roof corrugated iron Nissen huts out in Bathurst. Their next move was to a refugee hostel in Mount Druitt. Then a mud brick house which Maria, Ren's mother, bought with her meagre earnings as a sewing machinist in a Bonds underpants factory. Like her mother, Renny always strived, I don't know what it is, to make the most of things. She worked 3 jobs and studied fashion design at East Sydney Tech. In addition, she started acquiring Sydney real estate. Her first house was in Darlinghurst. She borrowed money through an amazing solicitor who had the foresight to back a winner. In those days, banks didn't lend to spinsters.
Very wise.
Renny calculated that if she got $10 from each bedroom, including hers, she had to pay $10 too, she could cover the mortgage. And now I introduce you to one of her original 3 tenants, Jeanette Sklavos. They have stayed in touch all these years. Okay. By the time Renny left for Europe in 1973, she owned 4 houses in inner Sydney. There was even some extra borrowing capacity to finance a European adventure. David, that's me. I grew up on a beautiful farm in Stellenbosch, South Africa. My father was a well-known and highly regarded winemaker. At the age of 8, I was sent to Cape Town to attend boarding school. I was there for 10 years, and other than minimal academia, I also gained all those important skills that one picks up when institutionalized. Basically, having as much fun as possible whilst avoiding the wrath of the authorities.
Well, it sounds like my little...
He was a rebel.
My main ambition was to be the Formula One world champion racing driver. There were only a couple of barriers. I was probably a bit too tall. And then the other one was lack of any funds whatsoever. So I went to work for the Ford Motor Company, thinking they would spot my talent and fast-track my path to stardom. The problem was they put me to work in the truck assembly plant. So disillusioned, I joined the South African Air Force and became a pilot. At that stage, I realized that I actually was really only an adrenaline junkie, and it didn't matter how I got my kicks. And the Air Force was quite good, and they provided a roof over my head, meals, and even a small salary. Whilst the lifestyle was incredible for a foolish young lad, after my first European vacation in 1972, I decided it was time to pack up and seek my fortune and leave for Europe. And now we get back to that bit about the Renny girl wearing a dress.
Right.
In 1973 in London, all the girls wore powder blue jeans and white t-shirts. And just for Bruce Rooney, they didn't wear bras. But first, I'm going to introduce you to the person responsible for Ren and I meeting, Susie Gleason.
Super low profile ties.
Susie worked at a hospital in London with my landlady from Fulham. Red flatted in Chelsea with Susie. There was a party at their flat. I attended with a bunch of Rhodesians and South Africans. During the course of the evening, I wandered into the kitchen, probably looking for grog. The lights were on, as opposed to the party area, which is very dark and dingy. There was this gorgeous young lady in a very eye-catching red dress.
Renzo!
Of course, I gave her a big smile. And she said, "Ooh, what a lovely smile you have." And wait for this, Brenda Christopher. Brenda, wait for this. And then she said to me, "What star sign are you?" And I said, "I'm a Leo." And she said, "Do you know that we are compatible?" I am a Sagittarian. Which is probably the best pickup line ever. Even though Ren didn't see it that way. It certainly got my attention. And to cut a long story as short as possible, that was it, as they say. There was never any doubt. We had found each other.
Not in the bedroom.
Okay, so you must be taller than me. Well, we're going to check it out now. Okay.
Take the kids home.
To cut a long story as short as possible, that was it. As they say, there was never any doubt we had found each other. Within 14 months, during which time we had actually only been together for 16 weeks, because I was working in Iran, we were married. I actually proposed after about 2 weeks. Oh, there we go. Oh. I knew I had a daughter for a reason.
Oh, that's so clever. Try and tell them to like read it.
Okay, now for the next stage of our lives. We ended up living in Tehran, Iran, for about 3 years. During this time, our wonderful son, Oscar, was born. Yay! Within a year, Ren and Oscar had to flee the revolution. I followed them 2 months later. The writing was on the wall. I made the decision to give up flying. We went into business. First a photo shop in Sydney, Professor Bloodgood's Photographic Emporium. And actually we have one of the first ever customers, Russell and Helen Henneke.
They're still waiting for the photos.
We dress people up in period costume and produce sepia photos. Georgie came next, our little Sydney baby. Whoa. We moved to the Gold Coast to expand our business. What a great move. Sydney door's been a bit too crowded and frantic for me, the young country boy. We took to the Gold Coast lifestyle like ducks to water. Then our little Southport baby, Quinton. Yay!
Once I was,
Our
yeah.
family was complete. In 1983, there was a very nasty recession on the Gold Coast. Times were tough. We had a sitting tenant in our house in Sydney, 2 mortgages, so Ren started dabbling in fashion to help pay the bills. The dabbling soon grew into a considerable business. Luckily, we've always worked well together. In this case, Ren was creating beautiful garments, and suddenly I was learning new skills: cutting, screen printing, stock control, lease negotiation, HR, pattern making by computer, the list goes on and on. Ren, in the meantime, was working quite literally day and night to turn out new ranges to satisfy the hungry customers. Our 3 children were partially neglected, although I don't think they really were.
You never took me to
But
Dream
they
World.
learned a great lesson, that hard work could be converted into a very comfortable lifestyle. Along the way, we met all you wonderful friends and generally had a ball doing it. Thanks to everybody. It's been an incredible journey, and one that's certainly not over yet. Would anybody else like to come up and sling mud at us? Nobody? It was all the truth? Yeah.
And still are so happy and fabulous and fun. Just look at them. They're just the most wonderful people, and I know you're all here because of that. And we love them, and thank you for coming.
This is another baby, her second child in mid-September, and we're so proud to be grandparents. We love it so much. It's just a joy to have the time to watch them grow and laugh and fall and buy them toys.
It's fine. I had to put it in sometimes because there's no baby monitor, so I set up just away from the iPads with FaceTime video. And
The taste of love is sweet. Hearts like theirs.
Don't put your hand in the fan.
I felt you like a child. Oh, the fire was wild. I fell into the burning ring of fire. Down, down.